Okay, see this? So this is for the recording for people who didn't hear what I just said. This is an extra long one of these devices. The normal medium ones just stop about right here. Okay, they're about that long. This really is a good one, and I have them to give to people. You have to special order them. Anyway, so here we go. Okay, first of all, extend yourself. That's number one. You can do that no matter where you're at, whether you're sitting in a chair, whether you're standing, whether you're walking, especially when you're walking. You know why? We tend to do this. We tend to get in this mode. Okay, you know that I'm saying this correctly, right? So you put your hands right under here and you pull your rib cage up as if somebody's pulling you up from upstairs. Okay, here's my band. We're going to start with band pulls, but they're going to be real specific to warming up. Okay, so I'm not going to go to the nth of it, meaning I'm not going to go to the end of the band. But you see what I just did? I just did a simple step out. Here's the problem. When you got, and I'm warming up. Okay, we're warming up with our class today. We had a great class coming on. Chrissy gets the award for being first. Okay, so every time I step, I'm going to say rib cage up. So don't step so fast that you go into your normal leaning. I'm trying to get you to not lean in a way that makes us feel much older than we are and not function with our lungs properly. So you see what I did? I stepped into this. I'm holding it here. I'm looking with my eyes. I'm tucking my chin, and my knee should not be going out over my toe is the point. And the back foot is straight. It's not turned out. It's straight. So when I step into, and you can step, I'm stepping in with my toe like on a mat, a flatter mat. I don't have that one of those pads. We'll use that today. I got my band here. So when I step in and I say rib cage up, I pull back, but I'm doing it very low. See, pull. And I'm going to do it a couple times. I'm going to pull, and then I rotate, and then I pull. And every time I do this, I ask, how does my shoulders feel? How does my elbow feel? Okay, how does my back feel? How does my neck feel? And if I'm doing this particular move, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. If I'm doing this all like this, something needs to happen. We need to stop, extend ourselves. So say rib cage up, take a step, make sure that we are not, see how I'm changed my hands now? I've changed my hands, okay? And I'm pushing down, pulling back. I do a little loading turn, see? And then I pull back, turn, pull back, turn, pull back. Okay, this little move, I'm telling you, for extended time sitting, if you would just stand, do one leg forward, and do this little turn out with my shoulders down, my rib cage up, I'm looking down. I make sure that my knee is not out over my toe in the front. My toe is straight in the back. And when I push down and pull back, so this is a push-pull, see there? Then when I come here, I just go ahead and turn a little bit so that I get that full transverse or turning move through my back, my shoulders. Oh my goodness. Okay, one more and then we're going to switch. Okay, now step back. All right, take a big deep breath. In through the nose, if possible, out through the nose, if possible. Now I'm going to step out again. And the leg that I step out with, number one, I'm straight on with my hips. I say rib cage up. chin down. The leg that you step out with is the arm that you push down, okay? So take a moment and line yourself up. My toe is straight in the back. I'm in a split stance, okay? My chin is down. I'm gonna say rib cage up because the majority of us, the minute we step forward, we're doing this and we're shunting our chin out. I'm trying to help realign you just in these few simple moves with this band. So the leg gets out, that arm goes down, okay? Take a big breath in through the nose, out through the nose, push, pull that elbow back, but don't lock this front arm. That's always what you want to do. Don't do it, don't do it. Drop your shoulders and see how I'm pulling my elbow back while I keep this arm down here, but my elbow is not locked, okay? Then when I release, I want to pull my whole body around so that it's pulling around and going into that lower back, into the hip, in through the nose, out through the nose. Here I go. Push down. Do not lock your elbow. Pull the other elbow back. And see, I'm doing all this low. That's very important when you're talking about warming up for this kind of a session. Then I release it and I go forward. Okay, get ready. In through the nose, out through the nose. You push down. Do not lock your elbow. Drop your shoulders. I know it's a lot of stuff. Okay, say rib cage up and then come back and do that little turn. See how I'm turning? I don't change my feet, but I'm turning. Keep my chin tucked. One more. Here we go. Push down. Don't lock. Pull back. Yay. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the nose, and then come back and turn. Do that little turn. See that? Okay. Step in. So you held that position for a little bit. So I'm going to go out with the toes. Then I'm going to go in with the toes. Okay, this is a version of what we did on, I think, Wednesday with hip mobility. Now we're standing, okay, out. I tuck in, I tuck my chin down, I'm pushing my toes out. I have my little band right here, and I'm just gonna go back and forth. See this? I don't even pull it. See, I'm not pulling it. Then I'm gonna turn my toes in, as far in as they can go. But here's the deal. See, if I had somebody that had some real challenges with their hips, I might choose to do this kind of move lying or even sitting. But most of us are ambulatory and we're doing okay, you know, with our hips. So I have one hip replaced, one hip not yet, and I have one knee replaced. So see how I'm going out like this, and I'm in a little bit of a squat, a tiny bit of a squat. Then I turn in and I turn in as far as I can go. At the same time, I pull back, then I come forward. Now, when you come forward, I would be, if I were with you, see, my toes are in, I'm forward. Drop your shoulders. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose, rib cage up, and pull back. But don't open this. That's too much right now. Okay, I'm just getting you warmed up. Then when I pull back, I go way out. Okay, so this is going to work all the way around that hip joint. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to pull back in. Okay, I'm just getting us warmed up a little bit, and then I come back in. Okay, now I'm going to step over and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to come back right here. So when I come back to neutral, so to speak, I say shoulders down, rib cage up, breathe, step. See that? Okay. We're going to do this in a minute with weights. That's why I want you to really get those neural pathways going of how to do this. All right. And what you might say, well, what do you mean how to do this? You just step over your leg. You know what happens? And see, all I'm doing with my band right now is changing hands. I'm not pulling anything. I'm just changing hands and squeezing in on the band. See, I'm going to go over like this. So what happens is we lean. That's number one. Number two, we might feel like we have to widen our base of support. How do we do that? We turn our little feet out like a duck, or we turn it in, or whatever. So the feet stay forward, okay? My knees are very bent, my rib cage is up, shoulders down, bring it back, change your hands, squeeze, step over, the knees are bent. See that? What if I had big old weights in my hands right now doing a task or whatever? Yeah, you'd be rocking and rolling. That's why I'm doing this first as a warm up. You got to go through those moves, the patterns of those moves, and keep your joints safe while you're doing this. So rib cage up, shoulders down. You're just switching that thing back and forth and squeezing in on your hand. See that? So you bend that back knee. The front knee is bent as you stepped over. See, I'm squeezing, come back. In through the nose, out through the nose. See that? So here's the deal. When you first wake up, you've walked around some. But when you take it out of that pathway that you're familiar with, it has to wake up all kinds of neural pathways. There's a lot of falls that happen in the morning because you're coming out of a comatose sleep. Hopefully you're in a sleep and you have to wake things up. So when you do cross body work like we're doing, and you're doing a little pulling on a band, so now I'm going to add the band pull. Okay, we already did some of this, so I'm stepping over, my knees are soft, my elbow pulls back, I come back in. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Keep your shoulders down, pull back. So you notice I haven't taken my hands up past my chin or my head even yet. Yeah, because there's no reason to do that yet. See how I'm pushing and pulling? And I just come back and I step across and I'm doing transverse work. I'm doing all kind of ball and socket work with my shoulders, with my hips. And I'm stepping over and I'm getting warmed up. See how I do that little step, step, step? And then I come back here and I go step, step, step. I get myself lined up. I drop my shoulders. I do a little pull with my band. Okay? See that? Take a breath, breath, breath. Pull. Take a breath, breath, breath. Pull. Couple more. We're almost there. Pull. Breath, breath, breath. Step, step, step. Pull. And one more. Here we go. Pull. And come back. Step, step, step. Pull. Okay, now, right now. Don't step out of it. Don't step out of it. Check to see your body position. I push you here. If you were leaning too far forward, I would drop your chin. If you were doing this, okay? So pull forward, drop your shoulders. Your knees are very soft, bent even, yeah? Now I'm going to take this and come right here to the middle, okay? See this? So we've been doing these, right? Let me warn you, if you've had shoulder issues, you go into this kind of a thing by pulling in the muscles of the chest as well as the back. And how do you do that? Number one, you drop your shoulders. You pull tight. You brace. Okay? So I'm standing my ground. I'm going to bend my knees a little, push my butt back. And as I pull out with my hands, I really hang in there with my shoulders down. And then I release and it comes back. Okay? So let's pretend that as we're doing this kind of thing, and I would look at your wrist because many of you are you're going to break the wrist, so to speak. I want your wrist to stay very neutral. So that means they don't go out and they don't go in, okay? Drop your shoulders, sit back a tiny bit. You're into your heels and you're pulling, and you've got to keep your shoulders down. You've got to let this move pull in the shoulder girdle, not just your arms, okay? And then you release. It's a big deal, and you can tell it when you're doing it or not doing it, because you will feel stress in the shoulder if you're just cranking on this with your arms and you don't bring in your pecs. You don't bring in everything around the shoulder girdle. Let's do it about 3 more times. Are you ready? Drop your shoulders. You're gonna pull out with the backs of your hands as you're pulling back with your elbows. See that? And then you release, okay? Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose if possible. Drop the shoulders, and pull those elbows back as you pull your band apart. And then come back in. So it's a very specific moves here. And it's really easy to leave out a certain, because see, you can do this just with these. I want you to pull in everything here. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, brace. Drop your shoulders, bring those elbows back. Really open the backs of those hands, open, pushing out. Like they're pushing out really hard. Then come back in. Take a big breath. Okay, I think I said 3, but I don't know. See, let's just do 1 more. Kathy's rolling her eyes. That was 4. Okay, last one. Okay, drop your shoulders. Do not break those wrists. Okay, you're pushing out with the back of your hands, pushing back with your elbows, so it's a back and out type of a thing. That's a lot of pressure. That's good pressure. And then you come back in. Nice. Okay. Bring those elbows right here under your chin. See that? See that? See, I have my band still, just hanging here off my thumb. Now, you just put your hands under your chin, but guess what some of you did? You brought your shoulders up, okay? Drop your shoulders, okay? I learned all of these little cheater moves from Kay and Marilyn and, you know, just a few. Nancy always does everything right. Kathy counts. Chrissy does everything right. Okay, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Yeah, drop your shoulders. Keep your hands right here. Drop your shoulders, not your elbows. Then you're going to take one hand out and you're going to go one hand forward. See that? Yeah, now sit back into your heels. Sit back into your heels. Yes, yes, yes. Now drop your shoulders again. Okay? And now we're going to just see how everything's floating as we go up. Up, up, up. And now I'm going to turn. See that? I'm going to turn. I'm going to bring the front now hand, switch down, and the other hand goes to the side. Sit back into your heels. Drop your shoulders. Yeah, drop your shoulders. Sit back into your heels. Knees are bent. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Breath, breath, breath. See, I'm turning my trunk. See? I'm going to switch hands. They come down and they come down. I'm pointing forward. I'm pointing out. Drop your shoulders. Set into your heels. One more turn. Here we go. Up, 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 up. Turn. And we come down, 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 down. Now, generally, you see this move done in a very fast manner. Okay, I'm very concerned with how you're using your shoulders right now. Keep your shoulders down. Here we go. We're going to turn, 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 turn. And we come down. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Now we've switched. One hand's out. One's hands out to the side. Okay? In through the nose. Set back into your heels. Many of you keep rotating into the front of your feet. Stay into your heels on this. Okay, now bring those elbows back and we stop this move the way we started. See my hands are right here under my chin, and my elbows are right out from that. So what you need to ask yourself right now is, number one, how's my stance? You're on all four corners of your feet, but you're primarily pushing into your heels because my knee is bent and I'm a little tiny bit of a hip hinge, okay? My rib cage is up, and then I'm just gonna take these hands out, and then I'm gonna walk, and you see I have my little band here, okay? My thumbs are forward, and I'm gonna start doing that little shoulder rotation, okay? So we worked a lot on hip mobility on Wednesday, and we're gonna be working a lot of arms and shoulders, upper back. At the same time, we're gonna pull in some of those lower body muscles, okay? So what am I doing right now? I'm doing what I call treading water. I'm just doing a little walk, a little march in place, okay? So a march in place is a very different move than a walk in place. Did you know that? So my thumbs are forward. I got you really pushing, and then I didn't stop, see? And if you need to stop, always stop and take a break, then come back in, okay? So see, I'm pushing the thumb forward, and I'm doing a shoulder arm rotation. I'm doing a little march in place. What does that mean? That means I'm pulling my knee up while I'm doing a slower rotation with my hands and arms. See that? And I know that I'm hitting up around maybe past 20. And I'm gonna try to hit 30. I'm thinking we're almost there. But you know, Kathy knows exactly where we're at. Okay, take a big breath. Keep your shoulders down. You should be screaming right now. Yeah, that's quite normal. Take a break if you need to. Take a break if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 more. Okay, 2, and then 3, and then I'm gonna put my hands down like this. See that? And I'm just gonna come like that. So see, what have I done? I didn't bend at my waist, I bent at my hips. I kept my chin tucked, and I'm just doing a little hug. See that? And that releases the tension in your arms. See that? It helps to recover all those muscles that we just now worked with. So if you bend forward from your hip, I should be able to run my hand down your back and it be an extension. See that? So once you've done that just 2 or 3 times, whoa, that feels so much better. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch my little band, and I'm gonna do, again, a different kind of a march. So now I'm gonna turn my palms up. So a lot of times I wait to the end of the class to do this kind of a move, but this is a move that's kind of warming us up for what we're gonna do, okay? So you know we're gonna have a lot of fun. So instead of coming forward with my knees, see, this is what we were doing before. See, I was having you march in place. Okay, that's different than a walk. See, this is a walk, okay? So this is a knee pumping up. See that? Now, I was doing thumbs forward. Now I'm gonna do thumbs back, okay? And I'm going to do a heel to hip kind of a march. So I'm going to be going, I have this band in my hand for a reason. So you see that my palm is up and I'm going back with my motion. But on my legs, I'm gonna shift and pull my heel up. I'm gonna shift pull my heel up. I don't have to pull up very far. But here's the deal, y'all. I want to add this motion to this move because it is such a good balance drill. It's a great balance drill. You notice I'm not going super fast. I'm just doing my very straight. And here's the modification that's okay. Don't bend your elbows if possible. If you need to go lower, go lower. But keep those arms straight. Yeah. See, that's okay. But if you can do the move so that it's straight from the shoulder, then do that. But you see, I'm just doing this heel to the hip.
Not this time. That's 30. That's enough, Jeannie.
It's not possible that we did 30 just now.
We did more than 30. Again.
Okay, 2 more and I'll stop. That's funny. So listen, what I just went through was a real exercise in trying to get you to be knowing where you are with your shoulder strength, the endurance of it. If you've had shoulder issues, I know it was pushing you. I know that. Yeah, we can pick up heavy weights and do all kinds of stuff, but what I just did with you, very, very important in shoulder function, okay? The palm up, the palm down, and the marching action. See, this, doing with that is training more than just your arms and your legs. It's helping your brain get on track with better balance. That's the point. Okay, now, I have my little weights here. And we're gonna pick up 6 pounds or light. So those of you with these weights, you can go light as 3, okay? Now, let's say you want to pick up a 6. Fine, start with a 6. And then if it gets too heavy with what we're doing, go to a 3. See what I'm saying? Now, what am I doing? I'm doing some of the same moves that I warmed you up with. So I'm standing here, I'm stepping forward. And let's say you wanted to really ramp this one up, okay? If you did, then you would step in your little pad. You would put the little pad on the floor, and as you stepped forward, you would step into the pad. That is going to push you, okay? So you do that if you want to, all right? So here's the deal. I don't have the little 2-inch pad, but I have an exercise mat. And a lot of times in my class, before we had all the pads, I would just have you fold your pad, your exercise pad, you know, your exercise mat. So what am I doing? I'm just doing a simple curl under the chin. So I'm pulling, and every time that my hand comes right here under the chin, see, I'm doing that little turn that we opened the class with. So as I come down and I push back, I have to, number one, keep my stomach super tight. As I step forward, see, I'm gonna say rib cage up, big breath, then I'm gonna come down, there's that turn, and I'm gonna come right here like that, and I'm gonna keep my shoulders down. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth, right here, right here. Now stay with me, because when my chin feels my hand under it right there, I say rib cage up, and now I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna go up so that I'm looking under the weight. See that? And that's it. I'm not gonna go any higher. And I might do that a couple of times. See this? Maybe 2 more. See this? Breath. Come back down. Here we go. Breath. and come back down. Turn, come back, here I go, pull. I step into that pad or just step forward. My knuckles are right under my chin. And I'm gonna go breathe in, and I'm gonna go just above the eyes and bring it back down. And I'm pushing off the toe in the back. My toes are straight forward. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Keep my shoulders down. Here we go, just one more. Here we go, right there. And come back down and come back down. So if you wanted to do something like that with a 6 pound or a lightweight, that six is light for me. Okay, that's what I consider light. It might not be for you. Maybe you have different kind of issues going on that you need to go to the 3. Then go to the 3, that's fine. Anytime we're doing lightweight, you pick up what is appropriate for you, okay? And some of you have little free weights that are 1 and 2, and sometimes I have to start there with some people. Okay, before I change my lightweight, and again, if you wanna go to a lighter weight, that's fine. I'm gonna drop my shoulders, drop into my heels. I'm gonna do a little bit more of a squat this time. See that? So here's my normal stance. My legs are all straight and everything. Here's a semi squat or a hip hinge. And then I'm gonna go a little more. And how far do I know? You go down until you start feeling these muscles start to kick, and you're gonna also feel your back extensors contract. So I'm gonna be right here with my light weight. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna do a little punch and back down. I'm gonna come right here, punch and back down. Now, I showed you the move. Some of you cannot go up very far because of your shoulders, and I know that. So you go here. You keep your shoulders down, and you do this safely and effectively. See that punch out? Big breath, drop into those heels, say rib cage up. You're gonna rotate. You're gonna hang on to that weight. You're gonna change it if you need to. So this is a forward arm extension, okay? Breath, rotate. You don't go any higher than your shoulder. And some of us go lower. See, you punch out here or here. But whatever you do not bring your shoulder up. You keep that shoulder down. Breath in, boom, and back down. Okay, really push into the heels. Bring yourself down a little bit more. So this is really actually more of a training, especially if you're in a semi squat. This is more of a training, seriously, for your back muscles than almost anything. If you're working a proper semi squat, woo, punch, big breath. Here we go. Breath, breath. Try to line that hand and elbow and shoulder all up. Here we go. Just one more of each. Here we go. Breath. See, I'm trying to say one more before Kathy does mutiny for me. Okay, here we go. Come back up. Okay. If you did that whole sequence with me, you should have been feeling it here. And you definitely should have felt it here, okay, in your back extensors, in a good way, not a bad way, all right? Take a big breath. Now we're gonna do some work with some heavier weights, and this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna step forward into that little bit of a split stance, okay, and come back. Listen, when you've got weights in your hands, And you do a step forward, especially if you step forward and you put your foot on a pad or a very compliant surface and it's spongy. That's a huge balance work right there, okay? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna step forward and I'm gonna pick up heavier weights here in just a second. And I'm gonna go right here. Remember that thing we did in the warm up? Yeah, with the band. Well, here we are with the weights. I'm forward. I'm turning my whole body. See? I'm stretching my Achilles, my calf. I'm working my chest, my back, upper and lower. And I'm working my quads. I'm working my gluteals, okay? So we're gonna change weights here in just a second, but we're doing 4 or 5 with this move. See this? So it's a push down, pull back. See that? And I'm stabilizing over here. So it's breath and pull. I'm a very wide stance. But when you do this turn, this has the ability to totally get you off balance. So it's a huge balance work as well as a strength work. See that? My toes are forward and I'm pulling, okay? Now I'm gonna come down, step back, and I'm gonna step forward with the other one. See that? So I've stepped forward and now I'm gonna stabilize here. So my opposite hand of the leg that stepped out, so my knee is out here, my leg is straightened back. I'm gonna act like I'm putting down a log, okay, a bucket, a suitcase. I'm gonna pull back. I'm stabilizing right here. Breath. I'm gonna come down, see that turn? I'm gonna pull. So it's pushing down and it's pulling back. And I do all of this with my shoulders down and my rib cage up. Because when I'm putting my suitcase down, when I'm putting that log down, when I'm putting anything down in front of me, that is one of my great risks to pull something in my back. Because, not because, you know, I'm doing that movement, because I'm doing it incorrectly. Okay, so when you go to push down, you deepen your bend in your legs. You don't round your back. See how I'm turning? I'm putting it down. I'm bending a little more in my legs. Right there. Okay, just 2 more and then we're gonna pick up some heavier weights. Yeah, that's why I'm spending so much time setting this up. Breath and pull back and down. Okay, now we're gonna do that move again and we're gonna do it with heavier weights. However, I'm gonna step wide, just like this, and I'm gonna turn my heels in, yeah, which I normally don't do. And I'm gonna come down just a little, and then I'm gonna turn my heels out, so it's a pivoting, and then I'm gonna pivot my toes inward, pull my heels out. I've got 12 pounds here that I'm doing this against. See, they're light weights, but still this maneuver that I'm doing, which I opened with our warm-ups, with our band, is a big deal, okay? Then I come forward, so it's a pivoting. See how I'm pivoting? And I'm moving into the end. So my toes are pointing in now. Then they come back neutral, then they come in. I'm doing it all while hanging on to what you need to determine for your own self. What is a lightweight for you? Okay. Now, before I pick up the heavier weight, we're gonna do one more move that we're gonna do with the heavier weights. And what is it? Well, we simply act like we're gonna sit down. That's all. Just act like you're gonna sit down. You've got light weights and you're gonna push these back. And then you're gonna lift. And how are you gonna lift? The only thing you're gonna do when you're down in the drops, so to speak, is you straighten your arms and then you pull your shoulder blades in. And you pull your shoulder blades in. Yeah, you pull your shoulder blades in. Your arm is straight. Pull your shoulder blades in. Breath. 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 And then stand up. So, in that move, you straighten and then you pull those shoulder blades in against that extended arm, okay? All right. Or flex, yeah, flexed in the back. Now, I'm gonna go up in my weight. So I'm just gonna go up one. So whatever it is that you have been working with that you think is light, and here's the thing you gotta hear. So if I'm with somebody personally and I'm helping them pick out their weights, somebody asked the other day, it was a very good question. I'm giving you a chance to shake out your hands and rest a little bit. See this? How do you pick up heavier weight, or do you do more repetition, or what do you do so that you will increase your workload but you don't hurt yourself? So I said it depends. What does it depend on? It depends on how your form is. That's what it depends on. When your form breaks down, that's when you drop down and use lighter weights. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my heavier weight. So now I have my heavier weight. Yeah, everybody got that? And I'm going to come into this same move. What am I going to do? I'm going to step out right there. See that? So standing here with heavier weights now. Step out with one. See how that feels? Step out with the other. Okay? So now for our purposes with heavier weights, we're going to step out and we're going to take the hand that's opposite the knee that you stepped out with is the one that's going to be pulling back. Okay? So I've stepped out and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pull just like that. See that? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pull. So what you're going to see is, again, I'm pretending that this is a suitcase or a bucket of something or a log. And if I don't want to hurt my back, I must not round my back. So right now, I'm doing a knee bending back and I'm coming down here to put that item down, but I'm not going to round my back. So what does that mean? In order for me to get lower so I don't just drop it on the ground, which sometimes you should just drop it, then I have to bend my knees a little bit more. I have to bring that knee down and back, and I have to bend down. And I feel it in my legs, not my back in a bad way. See what I'm doing? Pull. So it's this type of training done with a lightweight and with a heavier weight. And then if you want to, go to a heaviest weight, okay? But here's the deal. Here's what I'm most interested in. Right now, your back is extended and you go down even 1 inch lower. You're in a wide split stance. You are rotating your ankle. You're going into the toe in the back. You're pulling, you're turning. Wow. Keep your chin down. Take a breath. And this just seemed like such a simple little move. But if you break it down, it's a very complicated move. Okay? Especially if you do it correctly. One more, just one more right here. Go down a little more and then pull and come back. So what I want to impress upon you is how long it took us to get to this point, okay? Yeah, and that's why physical training, properly done, you need to understand the warm-up process, do it. A lot of people just don't want to take the time. So you have to enjoy being injured a lot. Okay, so what did I do? I switched legs. Now I'm stepped out with the other leg. My back leg is back. I'm in a split stance. So I am really keeping my balance. And if it's very difficult for you, widen your base by stepping out, not by turning your toe. You got it? Say rib cage up. Here I'm stabilizing. The hand opposite the knee that's out here is the one that's going to be putting down. And you need to bend the back knee and then pull back and pull it up. Got it? Breath. Big breath in, out. Bend the back knee. Bring yourself down. Bring that item down, then pull back. Do not try to speed this up. See how I'm coming down and I'm turning. I'm not rounding my back. Bend that back knee. Yeah, turn, don't round. It's a big deal. Breath. So if you've taken the time, you've been with me through this whole session, right now, as you're going down and you're increasing the bend in the back leg and you're bending down a little lower and you're turning, you should feel just a little shaky. That's okay. Take a breath. Whew. Breath. Here we go. Breathing in. Here we go. Down just one more inch. And then pull. Don't speed it. Don't speed it. See, I'm wanting to keep you down here. I'm wanting to keep you in the drops for just a few seconds. And then pull back. Okay? Big breath. This is those joint moves that are so good to do. But you have to do it controlled. If you're rehabbing, for sure. And then you have to put a multi-dimensional movement pattern, which is what this is. And it's all what you do when you're traveling, shopping, working in the yard, working at home. But we do our movement patterns wrong. That's what gets you into trouble. It's not the move per se. It's the move done incorrectly that gets us into trouble. Okay, 2 more and we're done. Breath, breath. Here we go. Turn, turn, turn. Bring that knee down. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Come back. Okay, one more, one more. Here we go. Down, 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 down. Breath, breath, breath. Pull and come back. Nice. Okay. Now that back arm thing. We're almost there. Okay. So it took me all session, see, to get here. See that? See, just go to this and then go to that. See that? Don't even worry about your arms right now. You got your heavier weights. You go down, you hold it here, come out to the side, straighten the arms. Now pull the shoulders in. Come back and stand up. Okay? How are you moving? Push your hips back. Drop your shoulders. Go as low as you feel you can. Straighten the arms. Now pull the shoulders in. And come back and come in and come up. Yeah, don't stay down there. All right? Shoulders. Drop down. Push your hips back. Go into the heels. Go as deep as you can. Push those arms back and rotate the shoulders in. And come down and come down and come up. Take a breath. Here we go. Down, push back, shoulders in. Come in and come down. Okay, now this last one that we do on this one, we're gonna stay down, okay? So take a breath, come down, go into the heels, come right here, push out, and then go push, pull, push, pull the shoulder blades, push the elbow back, pull the shoulder blades in, push, pull the shoulder blades in, push, pull the shoulder blades in, push, pull the shoulder blades in. Keep your chin tucked. One more, one more, one more. And come up. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna put my weights down. And I'm gonna raise the weights. One more. So now I'm gonna be at 12 and 12. So I have 12 and 12 in both hands. So this is gonna be the next, the one that we end on is gonna be conducive to hanging on to heavier weights, okay? Okay, take a big deep breath. We're almost there. We got plenty of time. All right, Kathy's ready to count, I think. Okay, ready? I'm gonna go down and grab my 12s. So this is gonna be a heavier weight configuration. Okie dokie. I'm gonna bring one weight up and put it right there and the other one up. And you notice I keep my little fingers on underneath the weight. Okay, that's number one. It just pads it, that's all. And it keeps the weight there. I'm gonna step forward like I'm gonna walk, not like I'm gonna take a giant step. That's important. I'm gonna step forward and say rib cage up. And I'm gonna go up into my toe. Then I'm gonna come back. Then I'm gonna step, and I'm gonna go up into the back toe and come back. So you might say, well, what's that about? Well, you are working against the weight you chose that is on your shoulders. And that's why it's very important for you to be extended in your back, for you to keep your chin tucked. This is the rack on speed. Okay, is K still on? I'm not sure. See this? Yeah, take a breath, step, go into that toe, come back, go into the toe, and go back. Yes, take a big deep breath, bring them down, and then all you're gonna do is come to the shoulder and to the shoulder. And I'm gonna step back. See, I'm gonna step, and then I'm gonna step back. Then I'm gonna step, and I'm gonna step back. And here's the deal. This is a heavier weight. I'm doing a little move with it. I'm just stepping forward and back. I'm tapping the front of the shoulder. Many of you, when you do this with a heavier weight, when you go to lift, you kick your elbow out. That's a cheater move. See? Do not kick your elbow out. Bring it straight forward. Keep the elbow right into your waist. Breath. 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 And breath. Okay. Go shoulders to the ears with this heavier weight. Shoulders to the ears, heavier weight. And then if you can, go up into the toe just a little, meaning you're raising the heels. And yeah, you'll step out. If you overbalance, that's okay. That's part of it. Tight tummy, shoulders up, raise your heels. Shoulders up, raise your heels. Shoulders up, and I do this against my heaviest weight. Breath, 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 and bring it down. Now I'm gonna step wide, and put my waist down, and then before I walk away, I pull those weights, I channel them up to the heaviest weight because I don't want anybody inadvertently grabbing them and slinging them around, so to speak. Okay, good job. This was about a lot of shoulders, a lot of arms today, as well as hips.